Got coffee in my mustache, and my wife done left me dry.
Oh my God. That's money.
The
So not only are we
Folgers running down my chin, and all I do is cry.
not only are we going viral on Twitter right now, but that song is going to blow us up. Like that's
No, I
one.
know. Yeah. Sideways in Time presents Patriot Pat, Country for his country.
Country. That's way better than what I was going to say. Country for your ass. So yours is way more PG. Well, hello everyone, and welcome.
Good morning.
Back. Yes, and welcome back to a long-awaited new episode of Sideways in Time. Let me start off by saying, before I introduce ourselves and get into all of that and the rest of the show, if you're not on Twitter, and you're just somehow stumbled across this podcast somehow without Twitter, first of all, thanks for listening. Second of all, you didn't hear or read our apology for last week's episode not airing. We had this big special Halloween edition of the episode planned. We had Trevor Eon, as a nice interview with Trevor Eon, and for whatever reason, the entire day was riddled with technical difficulties. And then even more so by the time we got around to editing the podcast for you guys to listen to, we were cursed even further with, for whatever reason, Zoom did not convert the interview with Trevor, and we got cut short on our end of the podcast. So it was just a kind of a huge disaster, and I apologize if you were waiting on that. We were really excited for that episode. We'd worked really hard to get to that episode, but like I told Patrick, we'll chop it up as a new podcast, whatever the word is for it. But yeah, so needless to say, exactly. So needless to say, we apologize, and we're going to try to get Trevor on somewhere down the line in the future, because he was a really nice guy, and I really appreciated him spending the time with us like he did. That being said, though, I'm really excited about today's episode. By the way, hey, I'm your host, co-host. Oh, words, Lucha Chris. And it wouldn't be a Sideways in Time intro without words. And to my other side over here, I did it right, is my dude, my partner in crime, the man with the country album, Patriot Pat, everybody. What's going on?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, I'm just happy to be here. Oh, okay. And if you look on Twitter and you see the my wife is my soulmate sign, and there we go. Well, my wife just brought me my glasses, so I'm in full uniform. Thank you, Angel. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
So yeah, last night, and actually I guess it was 2 nights ago when you're listening to this, but we were at AEW Dynamite in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And it was a damn good time. I have to say, I've been waiting for a wrestling show of this caliber for a very, very long time. And it was Patrick, myself, and Casey, his wife. We had a lot of other friends of the show that were in attendance that night.
Yep. Mike, Kevin, Bird Girl was there.
Yeah, there were so many, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin, you already said that. I'm tired today, man.
Dude, I'm beat.
I'm surprised either one of us have a voice today.
Yeah.
So being that we were there, and the disaster that was last week's episode, we decided we're going to change up the format of the show this week. And as a matter of fact, we're not going to have a format this week. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of talk and bullshit about last night's episode of Dynamite and whatever else we decide to talk about within the hour of the show today. And I'm kind of excited about it, not having any specific format. We do have two special rants from Band from Ringside podcast, JCB, this week, but we'll get into that a little later. Man, last night was a blast, Patrick.
Yes, and I'm retweeting something right now. I apologize. I'm professional.
Oh, that's all right. So yeah,
but my signs, you told me about it. My signs, somebody tweeted it as a GIF, and so I'm retweeting it again. It's that my wife is a soulmate. My wife is my soulmate, and then her sign said, "My soulmate is Excalibur."
Yeah, it was TDE Wrestling on Twitter.
Yeah,
had turned it into a gift, a gift. It is a gift.
A gift. It was a gift. I appreciate it. I will. They will get an autographed copy of "Country for My Country" by Patriot Pat.
Yeah, just if you'll hear that at the beginning of the episode, I'm sure.
Yeah, with hits such as "Purple Mountain," "Bluegrass Majesty." Yeah.
Red, white, and blue, baby.
Yeah. Mount Rushmore, "How I Love Thee."
So if you were watching Dynamite, and you don't even have to look very close, Patrick, Casey, and I had some of the best seats I've ever had at a wrestling show.
You can see Luch every shot, every hard camera shot, because he had nobody in front of him. You'll see my ass bobbing around. I had a fucking American flag visor on, and then you see my wife next to me. But Luch is just like,
well, and
front and center.
We were fifth row, front and center on the floor, and just behind me is the stairway that goes up the bleacher seats. So it was literally just like a black stripe behind my head with my bright white mask. So it was, and on this week's, I think it's tonight's or tomorrow's, whatever it comes out to be, Dark Elevation is probably a little bit more predominant to see us because there was less people in the crowd at the time.
Yeah, the dude that was in front of me, he wasn't there for Dark Elevation.
Right.
So,
but yeah, we had some good signs. Your sign, I tweeted it out afterwards. I wish I would have had it sat at the very end next to Casey and had one that I put up after that just said, "I'm just happy to be here." But yeah, man, we had a great time. It was an awesome show. The crowd was super hot. Met some friends, met some new friends. The guy that was sitting next to us, wife bought him a ticket, and dude was a sweetheart. I think his name was oh man, I asked him what it was like mid-show, and I was like, "Hey, what's your name again?" And he looked at me like I wasn't talking. He's like, "Are you talking to me?" It's like, I don't. Yeah, man. There's nobody else here. Like, there's nobody else. I'm not looking at anybody. I'm looking right at you, bud. Anyways, I think it was he had a cool name, and that was his name. Was something that was really cool. Anyways,
we'll make it. It was Ignacio Invictus.
I think it was Elijah.
Okay.
Either way, great time. I mean, I guess if we're gonna do it, we might as well start with Elevation. So give me 1 second so I can kill my dog, and then yeah. So I think didn't we get not Private Party?
No, we got the Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed, who just completely shit on Kansas City, and it was hilarious.
It was fucking, yeah, it was the Acclaimed in 2.0, who they're the greatest fucking tag team in pro wrestling, versus Dark Order.
Oh, yeah. Which Dark Order, I guess as usual, was littered throughout the entire show. There was literally like 100 Dark Order matches.
Yeah, we also got to meet Press 10 and Alex Reynolds. They were very nice, very sweet. Yeah, and then what were the Ruby Soho and what's her name?
Well,
yeah, she's the Japanese wrestler with the purple and blue hair.
Oh yeah, I always forget her name.
Me too. And versus Nyla and. God, this is going great because I don't remember.
I was getting chicken fingers at the time, so I was getting very, very expensive chicken fingers at the time. So, and meanwhile, Patrick's wife, Casey, was sending me pictures while I was in line because Statlander came out. And everybody knows I have a huge Statlander crush. I love aliens. But yeah, and then what else?
No, when Ruby Soho's music hit, oh shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm marked out for everybody. I didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, holy fuck, Ruby Soho's here. Yeah, it was.
So
that's cool.
Tell everybody what your wife said you were like all night.
Oh, I was basically a coked up toddler.
She's not lying.
That
shit was hilarious.
I was screaming. I was yelling. I didn't give a fuck. It was so much fun.
It was a blast.
I started a Luchasaurus chant. I started an Anna J chant, but it was during the fucking picture-in-picture because we watched Dynamite when we got home. And yeah, so you didn't get the Anna J chant, but if you hear the Luchasaurus chant, Patriot Pat started that because Luchasaurus, that's my wife's favorite wrestler. So do what I can to make her happy.
Yeah, we got.
And look, I got my microphone mug because I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, we got to see old man Matt Hardy. I think he goes by Big Money Matt, but whatever.
Yeah,
that was cool. I haven't seen Matt Hardy. There was actually a couple of wrestlers I hadn't seen in many years since they were in WWE. And I think the last, other than that NXT, we were talking about it yesterday, that NXT dark or house show was the last WWE one I'd went to. But before that, it was like a Raw from 2004 or something like that, 2003. So it was cool to see Matt Hardy live again because it had been a very long time. Let's see.
Yeah, he fought Dean Alexander, St. Louis native or Kansas City native. He's Kansas City.
And then yeah, keep it going for just a second.
Okay, and then Rio took on St. Louis local and a Kansas City favorite, Tootie Lynn. She was great. I mean, Rio's fucking amazing, but yeah, seeing Tootie and seeing Dean Alexander, a couple of local guys on a big stage like that, it's really cool. I love that AEW does that. Brings in local talent. Yeah, there's smush matches, but still, you get to say you wrestled in AEW. And then we got to see Powerhouse Hobbs absolutely destroy Dan the Dad. That was fun. And
I walked in right as soon as that was happening.
Seeing it's funny because like some guys don't look as big as some guys. They look bigger on TV than they do in real life. But then you see somebody like Hobbs, and you're like, oh, TV does him no justice. Hobbs, Miro, and even Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega looks fucking huge in person, but on screen he's like just kind of like a dude.
Yeah. Justin Roberts looked huge. And, like I mean, and Johnny Hungy looks huge no matter what.
I got a nice picture of Johnny Hungy's butt. I almost posted it, but
wow.
I don't know. I'm debating about it.
I was kind of bummed out. Did you say that we got to see Tootie?
Yes, I talked about Tootie and Dean and Dan.
That was and what's funny is like it doesn't. I don't think the sound wise it translated as well as it did obviously in the live crowd because that crowd was going nuts when Tootie popped up. Like, and I don't know if you can hear it all. I didn't because we haven't watched Elevation yet, but crowd was going insane and Dean too. As a matter of fact, Dean probably got even a bigger pop throughout the night. There was a lot of Dean chants. Super cool, man. I've never seen a wrestling show in Kansas City. This was clearly my first show in Kansas City, other than like Journey Pro and stuff like that.
You want to talk about a long time? My last pro wrestling show was a WCW house show in Columbus, Georgia, in August of '97. And the nice thing is, 97, maybe 98, but it's 97. And so at both my shows, I got to see Sting and Big Show, Paul White, the Giant. That's how long those motherfuckers have been going.
So, apparently, so I get it and I don't get it. I think I have theories about this whole Cody Rhodes thing because Kansas City was a little back and forth, as everyone is right now with Cody Rhodes. I was kind of bummed out because Malachi Black had been banned from ringside for Cody's match against Andrade, rightfully so. I was really hoping to get to see Malachi Black live last night, but that's okay.
Yeah,
he got a really cool promo where he was talking about that he issued a warning basically saying that he wasn't the only one wanting to put an end to Cody. So that's, there's a lot of theories that could be said about that, especially with one Bray being out of contract officially now with the WWE. So who knows if that's going to be a thing. I think it's going to be somebody else. Honestly, I don't think it'll be him. But but yeah, that match with Cody and Andrade was phenomenal. The crowd was very two-sided when it came to Cody, though, as they have been lately. I can't help it. I fucking love Cody. But the thing is, I firmly believe that the reason he's being booed is because people are being very impatient in anticipation for him to have some kind of heel turn. I think people want to see Cody as a heel because I don't know why exactly, to be honest. Like, I think he would possibly be a better heel in this scenario. But after seeing it last night, I was already a fan of Cody. I've been a fan of Cody for a long time. And I think the position that he's in AEW, not as one of the executives, but on the roster, I really, really like Cody Rhodes. I think his presentation is phenomenal. I think obviously his promo skills are phenomenal. Like he's very good. And last night that match with him and Andrade was fantastic. Obviously we got some shenanigans with FTR and the AAA plastic lunch plate tag team titles, which Patrick seems to be eating off of as we speak.
Which went to ye old Price Chopper. He got some popcorn M&Ms.
Oh, popcorn!
Yeah, I opened the bag and it smelled like feet, and they really have no flavor. So
nice. Well, at least they don't taste like feet.
I was kind of hoping they would,
Super creepy promo by Malachi Black, which was enough for me. Like I said, I was kind of bummed he wasn't there, but super cool promo nonetheless.
Yeah.
FTR was hiding under the ring. It looked like the entire match. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know how they even got under there. I didn't see them get under there even during.
I wonder if they brought out a bunch of crew earlier and they snuck under there.
Possibly. And it's hard to pay attention to everything, so there's a good chance that they.
Yeah, because were they on Dark Elevation too?
Yeah, because they. Well, no,
they fought. They were on Dynamite,
Star, and
yeah, that's it.
Kalisto. All right, so I want to get into this a little bit. Again, we don't like to get into too much that's all that negative on Sideways in Time. We kind of like to keep it light, but I do want to bring this up because it's blowing up right now, and I'm trying to stay out of it in the sense of not trying to judge either side of this too much because I think it's stupid regardless. But Jericho's in the fucking crosshairs of Twitter again because Kalisto,
Ray Del Sol.
Yes, thank you. First time in AEW, didn't even know he would be there. Patrick saw. I marked the fuck out when I saw that Aerostar was going to be there. He was a big favorite of mine, especially from the Lucha Underground days.
Oh shit.
He had tweeted.
Fuck,
what?
Oh, you buffered a little bit. I hope your internet doesn't die again.
Yeah, we'll find out. So Jericho so Kalisto went on and said that he had prayed and talked to John, quote unquote, Brody Lee, before the match, and it was a very nice tweet. It was kind of a tribute tweet to Brody Lee,
mm-hmm.
and Jericho, I don't know if you saw it, Pat, but Jericho.
Oh, I did because I commented on it.
Okay. Yeah. Jericho retweeted, you spelled his name wrong.
Yeah,
Because he spelled it with an H, where it's Jon. He spelled it John. Shut the fuck up, Jericho. Like, just shut the fuck up. Do you really? I mean, the only reason why I don't, one of the reasons why I don't want to speak on it as much is because who knows if maybe he had some kind of negative attitude backstage or whatever the case may be. So there was sour air and Jericho was calling him out and it had nothing to do with him actually spelling his name wrong. Who knows? We don't know. We're a bunch of fucking smart marks. We don't know shit for real. But if all it was that there was a spelling error or some kind of typo or, autocorrect messing up, and just I send out 100 tweets that are spelled incorrectly, and it's not because I'm an idiot, it's because Twitter doesn't let you edit. I mean, even Amanda Hubert chimed in on it too, and people are kind of bashing her now as well, which I didn't get into all that part of it, but like, what's the big deal? Is it just because Jericho really is just kind of a douche?
That's why remember the whole Shotzi Blackheart thing where she fell on, she had the gift for the mattress and he went off on her.
Yes.
I was like, seriously, you kind of do the same thing. I mean, you fucking troll everybody. And, it made me realize, like, I love Jericho in ring. I love in-ring Jericho. Out of the ring, he seems kind of douchey.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing this morning on Twitter as well. I commented on somebody, there's a million people talking about it. And I said the same thing. Like, look, I love Jericho as a character, as a wrestler. He's one of the greatest. But more and more, he's showing his ass to the public as far as who he is as a person. And again, what do we actually know? Like I said, maybe Kalisto said some dumb shit backstage that none of us got a chance to hear. But if that's the case, why bring us into it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And it doesn't make Kalisto look bad at all. If he was the great asshole backstage, No, I commented on Chris Jericho's thing. I said, thanks, Chris, K-R-I-S. Just
Statlander.
Yeah, it's because.
But yeah, that whole thing. I think
I'm funny.
I'm not 100%. I wanted to mention it on the show because I want this to be the last time I even fucking mention it. Because literally this is one of those reasons, and a lot of people have said it. This is one of those reasons that makes Twitter so toxic. Because who gives a shit? Like, even if he was being a dick backstage or there was some kind of underlining issue that made that tweet happen, why do any of us, why, who cares? Who cares? But
and could have been autocorrect. Could have been he just misspelled it. He didn't know it was spelled John or forgot, or it was spelled Jon. Could have been, motherfucker. Spanish is Kalisto's first language. Dude knows 2 languages. And you're gonna get him more. Yeah. And you're gonna get him on an extra fucking letter. Big, like you said, shit. There are times that you and I text each other. We have to translate each other's texts for fat thumbs.
Yeah, I literally do have big fat thumbs. It's just the whole thing was stupid, and I just don't get it. Moving back on to some cool shit though. CM Punk came out. Big giant pop, of course. Everybody went ape shit.
And hearing Cult of Personality live and hearing the pop being part of the pop, there's nothing fucking like that. There's one other experience like that I had last night, and that was doing the yes.
Oh yeah. I've never done it before.
Me neither. Yeah, so awesome. Having both those experiences, and I think the only other thing that would make me pop harder is if there was some glass breaking.
Yeah. Well, and I was another one of the small things I was bummed about is I didn't get to sing. Oh
yeah.
Oh. That's all I wanted to do with my life, and I could have died afterwards. But we did get to see Jungle Boy, which was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so CM Punk comes out very serious.
Okay, I'm overheating. I'm going to be right back.
Okay. And so in doing so, he came out, like I said, he was a very serious tone. If you guys watched it, you saw. And basically what he wanted to say was he had two things on his agenda. I think one of them was the original agenda. He was going to come out and cut a promo on Eddie Kingston. But due to the recent news about Jon Moxley going into treatment for alcohol, he wanted to come out and say, hey, look, we're not best friends. We don't even really probably get along all that well outside of the ring, but nice. But he did want to make sure he made a statement about how he was very proud of Moxley. He said, yeah, it's always fun to hear you guys chant my name, CM Punk, but there's only two names on my mind right now that I want to hear. And one of them is Jon Moxley. The whole place went nuts, started chanting Moxley. It's really cool. The way they're, and again, toxic Twitter, there's a lot of people on Twitter that are being really weird about this whole Mox thing, still trying to make it this WWE versus AEW shit. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I think
why did you leave that company when you could have got treatment?
Like,
he's getting treatment.
Not only that, not only is he getting treatment, and it was probably on his own accord. Like, he wasn't, he may not have been, I highly doubt he was asked by the company to go do this. This is something that he probably chose to do between him and his wife because it's something he needed to do. And that being said, it's the way it's being handled in that company so far. If when Jeff Hardy would leave WWE because he was having drug and alcohol issues, they would make a little statement like, hey, Jeff Hardy, we wish you well, that kind of thing. There were multiple segments on Dynamite this week, completely 100% aimed towards the just the everybody supporting Moxley on live television throughout the night. Literally, CM Punk's entire beginning of his promo was about how proud he was of Jon Moxley for going off and doing this, and how it made him, a bigger man than anything, like being able to reach out. And it was a really awesome promo. Like, and it's, again, not making it a WWE AEW thing, but the idea that they're able to be that open about these things is good on them, in my opinion. I think that's wonderful. And then, of course, go ahead.
Either they would do a little blip on like Jeff Hardy or something like that, or they would they would just write him off TV for a while and you didn't know why they were gone.
Exactly.
And it's especially like 10 so years ago when social media, even what it is now, you just thought they were gone. And then you read about it 6 months later. Oh yeah, Jeff Hardy was gone because he was in drug rehab. You're like, oh shit. So the fact that they, I saw it yesterday. I was getting ready to make a Mox poster. That's what was going to be my Orange Cassidy poster. I was going to write Mox on it.
Gotcha.
I decided against it. But anyway, the fact that they brought it up beforehand, like, hey, and Tony was like, I got John's permission to post this. So, John gave his consent.
Right.
But with the tag me in thing, with Eddie Kingston being so open about his depression and stuff like that, I think they were really on the forefront of like, hey, it's, okay, everybody's got these problems. Everybody's got mental problems, dependency problems, stuff like it's okay. Just get help. That, and I love that about AEW.
I totally agree. And that's the thing. They know we're not stupid and they don't treat us like we're stupid. And, they know we're listening. They know we're watching. They know we're on Twitter. They know we're on social media, seeing all these things. We're going to find out this is happening. Why not talk to us?
Yeah.
They're treating us like we're part of the family. And that's, I think, another one of those things that makes me so tied in to AEW at this point is that we're treated like we're there with them. Like, even the after show stuff. Like, I will admit, Tony Khan is extremely awkward in all the best ways. He repeated himself quite a bit on Dynamite before the show and after the show was on and off the air. He got really emotional though. He said it was the second hardest night AEW had ever had to do. The first being obviously the show after Brody Lee died, and then this one because Moxley wasn't able to be there. He got very emotional about it, whether or not it's 100% real or not, which I don't see him faking that.
No, I think he genuinely cares about his staff. From the
100%.
performers to the cameraman to the fucking catering. I think he genuinely cares about his people.
Tony Khan has a great mind for the wrestling business, and I think we're learning that in these short, 2-3 years that they've been a company. But without the talent that he was able to bring in, the show wouldn't be anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he is very, very, very aware of that. But yeah, so CM Punk went into the second portion of the promo being about Eddie Kingston and how he wasn't there, and basically calling him a bitch for not being there. It was actually, if you would have closed your eyes and imagined CM Punk didn't show up as a face, it was kind of a heel promo.
Yeah,
he was being a dick, and rightfully so within the story. So I don't know who's supposed to be the good guy in this one, because he cut that promo like Eddie Kingston's about to turn heel or something. You know what I mean? Like it was very he was calling Kingston out like he hasn't called anybody out yet, as far as their character and that kind of thing. So we'll get that at Rampage, and I think that's official because Kingston tweeted, "See you on Friday," and I believe there's already like a graphic for it, official graphics for it. One of my favorite parts though is as he's cutting this promo, he's about Kingston, and one of the guys in the crowd yelled, "Fight him!" And CM Punk turns and goes, "Oh yeah, that'd be great, but except for he's not here." Like, when we were there, I heard that as a totally different tone, and then when I watched it back, I was like, he was actually kind of being a dick to that dude in the crowd. Like, you're a fucking moron. Of course I can't fight him. He's not fucking here. But that was super cool. It was a great promo on both ends of it, between his support for Moxley and this continuation of his feud with Eddie Kingston, which I believe that match should be pure gold. Both of those guys are amazing, obviously. Fucking Miro is, honestly, at this point, I think Miro. Okay, so first of all, let me just start off by saying that because Moxley's gone in the tournament, it was supposed to be Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. Clearly, they had to replace him, and Tony had been teasing who it would be all day, and they didn't say anything. And then finally, the very last second during the show, they announced that it would be Miro, and Patrick and I both looked at each other like, "Oh fuck." Mm-hmm. So anyways, Miro put every piece of title, gold, championships, changed the show to Wednesday Night Miro, All Elite Miro. First of all, second of all, third of all, fourth of all, and fifth of all, Miro is probably has become my favorite thing on AEW programming. This is the best incarnation. He's so comfortable. It's so him. It's so perfect. He did a little backstage promo, but obviously he came out for the match as well. What'd you think about all this, Patrick?
Miro stuff. First, like I said, seeing him in person, holy fuck, he's big.
His shoulders and his neck are wider and taller than me.
Yeah.
Dude, it's huge.
But seeing him in the ring, seeing him reacting with the crowd, I mean, he was so into it. Like you said, he was just so comfortable with everything. He was just having a blast in there. Yeah.
The whole freshly squeezed thing cracked me up though, because sure enough, Miro grabbed that motherfucker up and started squeezing the life out of him. And on this article here, it says pound the pulp out of Orange Cassidy. Yeah, that was nuts. If you didn't see Patrick's Orange Cassidy sign. It
I
should
put a
also
lot of
go
effort
viral.
into it.
Just a giant orange sign. That you didn't need anything else. It was
To
perfect.
put as much effort into it as I sometimes try.
I sometimes try. Again, so on our at podcast kind of on Twitter, we posted, or Patrick posted this video of the after they went off the air, and it was really fun. It was hilarious. If you didn't watch it, watch ours or find somebody else's. No matter
Yeah,
what,
the only bad part is I recorded the whole thing, but Twitter will only let you upload a certain amount.
yeah,
It was like 14 minutes, so
it was a
I
perfect.
think I'm going to
started
send.
at a perfect time though, kind of. Well,
Yeah, but
sort of.
I'm going to send you the whole video, and then
Okay.
you can put it up on the YouTube page.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. What was cool about this match, though, because I remember when he came out, you were like, "Oh, this is going to be a smush match," and
Yeah,
it kind of wasn't. It wasn't a
No.
super long match by any means, but it was a good match. And the fun part is, this is one of the things I love most about Orange Cassidy, and we talked about this a little bit on the drive home. He's one of those guys that without AEW, nobody would have ever really, on this scale, not nobody, but
Mhm.
on this scale, there's not many people that would have known who Orange Cassidy was and how good he is. His gimmick is very silly, very lazy. That's the whole point. It's very comedic. But what I'm loving that they're doing more and more every week with Orange Cassidy is they're really letting him, they're getting in his shit in the beginning with his whole hands in the pockets. He was running around trying not to get caught so he could do it. And, there was all these things. But then there was that part towards the end of the match where he finally just lost his shit and was just losing it. He got real aggressive there for a minute. And when Orange Cassidy gets aggressive, I think it's the genius behind this character, because he's so non-aggressive that when he finally does get aggressive, it's actually impressive, like truly impressive. Orange Cassidy is way better than I would have ever given him credit for, and I think most people in general would have given him credit for.
Me too.
Because he screamed in Miro's face at that one point, and he flexed all up, and he got real heated, and it was awesome. End of the day, though, Miro caught the win and is moving on, which rightfully so. I think again, Cassidy's one of those characters that's not going to lose a whole lot from losing, because he's the type of character he is. Give it a few years, maybe he'll be in that upper echelon of the main event guys, when the guys like Jericho and some of the older ones and Kenny will step down probably for a little while, and there'll be this new crop of the young talent that they've clearly been priming for this in the next few years. I think he'll be one of those guys, because there's going to have to come a time where Orange Cassidy's character evolves a little bit.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a slow burn on that.
Exactly, and I think that's perfect.
I think the big jump in evolution was him screaming at Statlander at All Out.
Yep. That still sticks with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's, for some reason, that became an iconic moment because it was so out of character for him.
Yeah.
It was just done
along the board. Like everybody thought so.
But it was just done so beautifully. It was just done just organically, so I see it as slow burn, and in a few years, it's kind of like throwing a frog in a cold water pot and then turning the heat on. It doesn't realize it's heating up. So yeah, by the time that 3-4 years from now, you go back and watch Orange Cassidy from today, you're going to be like, holy shit, that's a completely different person.
I agree.
But we're not going to realize it throughout because it's going to be an incremental change.
Well, and even seeing him in person last night, he's in better shape than I would have ever expected too. His back was ripped.
Yeah.
Cassidy's back. Like the dude's actually, even like guys like Jungle Boy too, like he's kind of beefing up a little. I think they're, like you said, they're slow burning these guys into these quote unquote heavyweight positions down the line in a few years. Clearly that he took no time at all to tap out of Miro's submission. He tapped out real quick, which is good though. All of that is good. Miro's got to look like a fucking monster, and Cassidy's a great person to help do that. He got his shit in. He looked great. but ultimately, Miro's king. Bryan Danielson was on commentary for this one. And he came down after the match to try to shake Miro's hand, and Miro backed out. So obviously we're going to get that, which is mind boggling as well.
Did those two ever have a one-on-one in WWE?
Once, and Miro won, if I'm not mistaken, or
Okay.
Rusev won, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I saw that on Twitter as well earlier, because I wondered that same thing, and they said there was one time years ago, but I don't know that it was for anything specific. It was just a one-on-one.
And now we're getting a completely different Miro and a completely different Daniel Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
they have both. I mean, Danielson went back to the American Dragon with some oomph.
Yeah,
Miro he's totally different than what he was as Rusev.
The funny thing is, little fun fact. So I've been back on playing WWE 2K19. Usually I've been playing the newest one, but I keep going back and I'm playing a little bit of 19 again. And I was going through my creative character. I was making some stuff. And there was actually a time, and I didn't realize this, Bryan Danielson is in the game. But it was when he started his first incarnation in NXT was Bryan Danielson. He wasn't Daniel Bryan
really?
yet. Yeah, he was the American Dragon for like a split second in WWE when he first started. And I think this is before he was fired for choking out Justin Roberts, which again that was such a good callback at the end of the show. After they went off the air.
I'm glad that we got to see that, because
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega versus Alan Angels started off the show. Cool match. It was a really
Alan
good
Angels,
match. Yeah,
fucking great.
He got a lot of his shit in. He looked really good, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just in Kansas City for Journey Pro.
2 months ago.
Yeah, it wasn't this last show, but the show before. Also, speaking of Journey Pro, I just wanted to say, I'm happy that everything's going good for man, I'm tired.
Walter.
I feel like a jackass. Anyways, he had some health issues that he had to take care of, so that last show canceling was because of that. But he's talked to us all since, and he's doing good. So we can't wait for the next Journey Pro show, and I'm glad you're doing good right now, man. It's good to hear.
Get better, Walter.
Yeah, absolutely. After the Alan Angels, he kicked out of so much shit that somebody of his level shouldn't have necessarily kicked out of, but ultimately he took the L, and motherfucking cowboy shit. Obviously, Hangman comes out, and Kenny accidentally leaves the belt in the ring. It's like, hey, I think you forgot something, buddy. I'm just gonna leave it right here. You can come and get it. It was a super cool exchange. Obviously, it's another slow burn towards their match at Full Gear. So that was super cool. We got to see, speaking of Jungle Boy, we got to see Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and the Elite all have a back and forth. I was surprised to see what we saw, though. Christian comes out from backstage with 2 chairs by himself. And I wanted to, I was waiting for somebody to tweet this as, just being a total fucking internet troll, saying, oh, Edge confirmed is all elite. You got the concerto. Edge is going all elite. I was waiting for somebody to be an asshole about it. But yeah, so Adam Cole comes out. He's a part of the whole elite little brawl they were having. And ultimately, I don't know where I know where it's leading, but I wasn't expecting this. Christian Cage with the concerto on Adam Cole. Gnarly. I had to watch it from the screen across from us because I couldn't see shit. Everybody was going ape shit. But super cool angle. There's still clearly, this is another long-term storytelling, obviously, because they've been telling the story since Christian showed up, with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus being a part of it and the whole thing. I think it's cool because it's keeping all these guys relevant and on the show without actually giving them too much as
Yeah.
far as Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Yeah,
But yeah, go ahead.
They got a story.
Right.
They're part of a story, but it's not I don't want to say not important, but like, it's not one of the main stories, but it's something to keep you interested, and it's given Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus a little push, and shit, you get to work with Christian. What the fuck?
Right. Right. Like, at this point in this generation of wrestling, Christian's, up there with the legends of his era.
He's one of the GOATs.
Yeah, 100%. With just what he, Edge, the Hardys, the Dudleys, all those guys did in the early 2000s, just what the foundation they laid in those times, like literally WrestleMania X7 or 17. I don't want anybody to get mad. Literally what they did, they stole the entire show, and that was one of, if not the best WrestleMania of all time, depending on who you ask. And they completely stole the show that night with that tag team ladder match. So yeah, he's just being able to be side by side and be in his ear and have him in your ear. Like it's so obvious that so many good things are bound to happen for these young cats in AEW. It's amazing. I was very excited for this one. The AAA World Tag Team Championships were on the line. FTR had an open challenge, and sure enough, Aerostar and Samurai del Sol, FKA Kalisto, answered the call. It's funny. They started off, with FTR being this whole no flips thing, and there was a flurry of lucha libre, flips and all that kind of stuff. It got real ugly though. They not ugly in a bad way. They ended up just beating the shit out of each other. I think the highlight though, actually, no, it wasn't this one. No. Okay. So regardless, FTR wins. Cool show though. It was really nice to see Samurai del Sol and of course Aerostar in AEW for their first time. That was really fun. And then Cash Wheeler trapped Aerostar with that roll up and grabbed the ropes. So there was shenanigans there, but ultimately they got the 3 count. So what I was gonna say is, and then we had Anna Jay versus Jamie Hayter, which is a good match as well. Like Patrick said, we got this fucking Anna Jay chant started, and little did we know we were at commercial break.
Yeah.
So MJF calls out Darby. Everybody in the crowd's looking for Darby all goddamn night. He's just standing on the steps.
That was hysterical.
We think he's in the rafters. He's literally just sitting in the steps behind us.
Yeah, he's sitting in the corner on the steps. And finally, I saw him. I was like, oh shit.
Darby parting the Red Sea or the Mississippi
That was
River.
Cool. We watched it back, and like right in the front there was like a kid in a wheelchair, like quadriplegic, and the dad is like leaning over him like, hey, don't hurt my son, because they were fighting right in front of him.
That was a nasty that when he went running at him and hit him over the guardrail, that was gross.
It was. And I love Darby, but god damn it, you got to take it easy on the jackass shit, because throwing yourself full throttle into a ring post, your bump card is filling up rather quick.
Who knows how long he plans on being in the business, though? Honestly, go all out, man. No pun intended.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean,
but I'd rather go all out and still be able to walk when I'm, my age.
Jeff Hardy's still wrestling, so if that's any anything, obviously they're not the same person. They're compared a lot, but with the glorified, quote unquote, glorified stuntman thing. What's funny is Mick Foley tweeted out, he's like, hey, wait a minute, that's my thing. I thought that was hilarious. The glorified stuntman thing. Obviously Sting pops out because MJF tried to leave, and Sting shows up with a bunch of Darby masked people. But so what I was going to say was, during the Cody Rhodes Andrade match, which again was super cool, there was a lot of callbacks to Ric Flair, Andrade, doing the figure 4 and all that. lots of back and forth. the get the Glock chant, and he seemed so like, I don't know. He had to have been eating that up. Like
he almost broke character. He turned around to us because our section started to get the Glock.
Yeah, he's like,
and
come
he
on.
turned, and first off, he kind of shook his head and like squinted like a dad.
Yeah.
And then he turned and he went, like that.
Yeah,
and
puts his finger up like, wait a minute now, just cool it, settle down.
And we were just, he was just eating it up, it seemed like.
100%. And that was, so speaking of him, and then so FTR shows up again. They were all over this show. And we had a little stare down between some of the legends here, which was really cool. I don't know what they're going to do with that, if anything, but having him and Tully, have this little stare down in the ring was really cool. I didn't think I was going to pop as hard as I did, but I really did. That was super cool. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see what else.
And Tully in his sparkle jacket, he looks like a fucking old time fucking cruise lounge singer or something.
He's almost like the manager with the megaphone. I'm so bad.
Jimmy Hart.
He had like a Jimmy Hart vibe going on with that jacket. The whole time though, I was even asking Patrick, I was like, all things considered with the whole Ric Flair controversy, this almost like, okay, so you have Cody in the ring with Andrade. Cody, with his obvious lineage of the business, with his dad and everything like that. And then you've got Andrade, who's connected to Rick through Charlotte. And then you've got Arn in there with Tully. Like, do you think Ric Flair is going to show up to AEW at some point? Are they going to kind of pump the brakes on that for a little bit until the dust settles with all the Ric Flair controversy? Or do you think they're just going to kind of leave Ric Flair alone?
I think in this day and age, I think a month goes by and, people forget about everything. So they might be bringing him in. Shit, Tommy Dreamer's back on Busted Open.
Is he really?
Yeah. So, and, I've not seen any backlash from it, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, Tommy should be getting backlash. All I'm saying is, I haven't seen anything.
Right.
So, I think in today's society, and even egregious shit, people forget about after a little while. So, something like this, a rehashing of something that happened 20 years ago. I don't think, I think you had the initial uproar and then it quickly just petered out.
Well, and like they said on that episode of Dark Side of the Ring, they asked, well, why didn't Ric Flair get in any trouble for that? Why did everybody else seem to get in trouble? And, they did the shrug thing. He's Ric Flair. I'm not justifying that answer by any means. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to be completely on neither side of that because I don't want to even touch that conversation. But I don't know. I just feel like all the cards align to have Flair show up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not
full gear, baby.
Necessarily Charlotte yet, but or Ashley LaFleur, whatever she decides to use if she ever leaves WWE, or if and when she leaves WWE. Ultimately, that was the Dynamite card. It fucking super fun show. Like I said, super cool crowd. Lots of fun signs. So in between, during commercial breaks, Justin Roberts was calling out specific signs. A lot of them were, I'm here to sing Judas and that kind of thing.
Which the girl that sang Judas, they pulled her up front so she could do it.
Yeah. And she was on TV for quite a while. Even said it might be on TV.
Yeah, that was, like nice little sweet things like that. We also told a 5-year-old happy birthday because it was his birthday.
That was cool.
Yeah, a lot of people, because Justin would be like, "Oh, it's my first show. It's your first show. Oh, hey, let's all give him a round of applause."
Yeah.
So they do a great job between this stuff. And then like during Elevation or Dark Elevation, you know, Justin was like, you know, because they film it all out of order. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to do our opening. So, you know, in less than a minute, we want you enthusiastic and hold your signs up and cheer and stuff. And yeah, so he's phenomenal in that.
He really is good.
He's really, really good.
He's very professional. He's got the clean cut look. He looks professional.
Yeah.
He was very cordial with the audience during those commercial breaks. He played with Bryan Danielson very well with that whole thing. And if you want, we can get into more detail about what happened after we went off the air. But before we get to it, because we're going to start running out of time here shortly, because this was actually a lot of fun to have no format. This show, it's been a lot of fun to just talk about what we saw. But as I said in the beginning of the show, we do have a 2-part JCB rant from Banned from Ringside podcast at BFR Pod on Twitter, at BFR JCB on Twitter, at BFR at BFR at BFR Bill, at BFR Zach with an H. We're gonna jump into those.
Dano listens to BFR.
Who does?
Dano.
Oh yeah, Dano. You got to go back a few episodes of Banned from Ringside to really get it. But when they do the end of the show, they do a bunch of shout outs. And I'm usually included in that just because I'm alumni of the show. But bless his heart, Bill tried to shout Patrick out. But for whatever reason, he goes, and for Dano? And I can only imagine what their faces looked like. But JCB's like, who? And he goes, Dano? He goes, you know, the other guy on Sideways in Time with Lucha Chris. He goes, Patrick?
Patriot Pat? He's like, what the fuck? He did it again. And he was confident last week. He said, you know, for Lucha Chris, for Sideways in Time, for Dano. Motherfucker.
And what's really rare is Bill very rarely tweets. And when he does, it's usually something really, you know, out there. But he just tweeted today about it. He's like, maybe we'll see him next time, something like that. But yeah, so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to JCB's rants, and we'll be back with some odds and ends.
He's heating up. This is Banned from Ringside.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, JCB. I'm back for my weekly rant. First part of the rant, first of 2 parts, is the title exchange from 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. Okay. I've always given WWE a hard time about being lazy and not necessarily walking things through. Distraction finishes is my least favorite thing nowadays about WWE. I think I watched 3 straight shows of WWE. You've seen the distraction finish in some form or fashion. Mixed tag teams, you know, the odd couple tag teams. You see that all the fucking time too. Now it's getting to the point. RK Bro is probably the exception to the rule. I'll give you RK Bro. The rest of the odd couple tag teams, not necessarily always working. This title exchange is extremely fucking lazy. They did it a couple years ago with Street Profits versus New Day when they just wanted to have both teams wrestle each other in the Survivor Series. That was lazy as fuck. I thought you would kind of get away from that. But then you're doing it again with Becky and Charlotte. Look, we all know that that's going to be the Survivor Series match. I'm okay with that. But there is no reason in the world for a title exchange, okay? The biggest problem with this title exchange is now Bianca Belair, who is the PWI 150 Woman of the Year. Congratulations to Bianca Belair. But she's been the one that suffered through this whole thing. She's lost to Charlotte. Now she's lost to Becky. What the fuck is Bianca Belair supposed to do while you're doing a match that you could have easily done in a different way, a more so, dare I say, logical way, and not hurt Bianca Belair in the same process? It's just fucking lazy. I don't like to smash WWE because I like to do it. I smash WWE because they make it easy for me to do it. It's your boy JCB. I'm out.
This is Banned from Ringside.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy JCB, Jason Cornelius Bell. I'm back with my second rant for the week. This is going to be on Liv Morgan. Okay, so Liv Morgan basically has crossed paths with Becky Lynch and the Twitter universe, the WWE universe. Liv stands all around go absolutely ape shit. Pump the fucking brakes, people, okay? How many times do WWE bring you to this cliff and they don't pay it off? Does anybody remember the match against Charlotte Flair? Motherfuckers lost their mind about that. There was no payoff there. Then they're like, okay, Money in the Bank. Liv's gonna win Money in the Bank. That's like that little Charlie Brown cartoon where he sees Lucy holding the football, tries to take a swing at the football, misses again. Now the Queen's Court. Oh, she could have easily won the first round match. She didn't do that. I may understand that she's easy on the eyes. I get that part. I have not seen anything that's in the ring that makes me think that she is the next star. She's the next star like Becky Lynch, like Sasha, like Bayley, like Charlotte, like Bianca Belair. I don't think so. The next tier down at the very least. Oh, why doesn't she get a chance, Jason? Why doesn't she get a chance? Because for whatever reason, WWE doesn't see her like that. That's why she's not getting chances. She's gotten 2 in the last couple of months. And what has happened? Lucy's pulled that football away while Charlie Brown's swinging in the air, missing the football again. Liv Morgan stands, come off the ledge, okay? Let's actually see her beat Becky and then get all excited. If she loses in a strong match, oh, she looks strong in the loss, quote unquote. That's just WWE stringing you along again. It's like the dope dealer, you know what I'm saying? He keeps giving you the drugs. You know, here's another freebie, here's another freebie. But sooner or later, you're going to have to cash those freebies in for something that dope dealer wants. Come away from the ledge, Liv stands, okay? Let's see Liv win a big match before you keep telling me about her potential and how she's not given a chance. She's been given a chance. WWE just ain't pulled the trigger. It's your boy JCB. I'm out.
This is Banned from Ringside.
This is Banned from Ringside.
Banned from Ringside.
Thank you so much, Jason. He did 2 of them this week because he felt bad he didn't do one last week. Obviously, I had to explain to him what happened last week. We wouldn't have heard it anyway, so I'm glad we did it the way we did it. Let us know in the comments below on YouTube what you think about his rants this week or anything else you want to comment on. Always, of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It ain't going to hurt you none to do it. It takes literal seconds to do, and it'll definitely help out the channel, help us grow, reach more people. If you like what you hear and see, make sure you hit that little bell notification icon because it'll keep you up to date on when we drop new episodes, which is usually every week unless we have episodes like last week. And yeah, and always, as always, go over and check out Banned from Ringside podcast. There's also Friends of BFR on Facebook. I don't really dabble with Facebook as much at all anymore. But if you're on Facebook and you want to jump in and get into some silly wrestling memes and that kind of stuff, definitely jump over and check them out. One of my favorite, if not my favorite wrestling podcast there is out there outside of like, you know, the 83 weeks and Busted Open and all those. Banned from Ringside is super, super entertaining. So yeah, again, as always, thank you, Jason, for being a part of the show. Any specific odds and ends you want to discuss, Patrick? Anything outside of wrestling or anything like that you want to talk about?
Not really. Not
all right.
This whole week I've just been thinking about fucking Dynamite and going to Dynamite.
Same.
Yeah, Halloween wasn't shit.
Yeah.
I will have some
and not only did he
exciting news to report.
He meant Halloween literally, and when he said it, I automatically went straight into Halloween Kills. This will be week 3
Oh,
that I've said that movie is garbage.
I
Yeah.
I just meant the holiday itself.
Yeah. I had fun on. I had a good time. I actually got to handed out candy for the first time in probably 3 or 4 years in a neighborhood that was completely littered with trick-or-treaters. I was extremely surprised. It was amazing. I had a great time. We weren't giving them candy. We were letting them take the candy, which towards the end of the night was kind of wasn't a mistake, but it could have been. This kid literally came up and I put the bowl out in front of him and I was like, "Oh, go ahead, bud." He's like, "How many can I take?" I was like, "Well, just don't take all of them." So he grabbed 2 giant handfuls and ran down the driveway, dropping candy along the way. It was awesome. I was the only person. I didn't know I was going to this little get together to do that, and so I was the only person not in costume. So I felt like a jackass. But the girl I went with, she had a Cobra Kai bright red leather jacket, fit me perfect. So I wore that and said I was a karate man. I just said I was a confused karate man all night. So yeah, I mean that was pretty much our goal for this week's show. That I think I either came up with it this morning or last, and I was like, "Look, man, I don't have a lot of energy. I don't really want to come up with segments. I don't feel like thinking about a Mount Rushmore or what if this happened, anything. I think we should just talk about how much of a great time we had at Dynamite this week." And I'm glad we did, because it was actually this was a really fun show today.
This was a lot of fun, and it was not taxing on the brain. And
No,
I'm fucking tired. I'm probably gonna take a nap after this.
I wish I could. I've got some other things I gotta edit this down a little bit, then I've got to work a little bit later. But yeah, honestly, it was because of Casey's input last night on the drive home. She's like, "You guys need to remember this stuff you're talking about as we were driving home, because this is this kind of stuff people want to hear." Sure enough, this is what we're doing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I guess we can call it, man. We've been talking an hour and 49 minutes, and so yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you everybody for listening as usual. Episode 009. Thank you, Jason from Band from Ringside. Thank you, Band from Ringside. I want to plug Bill's Beard Bomb. I said it right. But yet again, I'm not really sure if he's still doing it or not. I don't know. Check us out on Twitter at Podcast Kinda, at Luchacris TV, at Patriot Pat _1776, and on YouTube, Sideways in Time Network. Hey everybody, Patrick's got a little something to tell you, and I think you should.
I got 2.
I think you should do it. Yeah, he's got 2.
I got 2 things. 1, fuck dog, and 2,
fucking nerd.
mark the fuck out.
Mark the fuck out. And by Mark, I lost it.
Well, we're self-marketing, and what's the first syllable of marketing?
Mark.
Mark.
By the way, and speaking of marking out and being a mark for yourself, there was the ongoing joke yesterday. So check out Elevation because it was a little bit easier to see there. Also during the Aerostar and Kalisto, or the Samurai Del Sol match, I had my own a sign with my own name on it, because nobody's a bigger mark for myself than I am. So I think I'm going to start calling myself in the third person. So Luchacris says, I hope you enjoyed the show. Luchacris wants you to enjoy the show next week, whatever that may be. Luchacris wants you to go over and check out Patriot Pat's Twitter, because his signs are going viral.
Oh, yeah. and big shout out to my wife who made the signs.
She did. She killed it too. They were all
She fucking destroyed it. Yeah, those things were awesome.
I wish you guys would have been able to see my Jungle Boy one, because it was very tacky and she worked very hard on it.
There was leaves on it. Felt leaves.
Anyway, so without further ado, thank you so much for listening this week. And I guess we'll see you next week. Yeah? Okay. Awkward goodbye, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. This is Band from Ringside. It's not, though.
Band from Ringside.
Jason, don't sue us.